While aboard Norwegian Joy, I decided I want to try out Q Texas Smokehouse for dinner. Let's go check it out. Here's the menu. They do play live music here at the establishment, so I will do the review in detail after I eat and maybe catch a little bit of the music while I'm here as well. So let me break down what I was able to have at this restaurant. I was able to have up to 3 appetizers, 1 main course, and several desserts if I wanted to, but by the time I got to the dessert, I just wanted one and I could not even finish that. So let's go over what I ate, what I thought about it. You know that I rate food on a scale of 1 to 5, so let us go. First things first, I started out with the Tex-Mex style tortilla soup. What did I think about it? I thought it was very tomato based. It had strips of the tortilla in it. It was hot. It had some spice to it. I did feel a little spice on the back of my tongue. It did clear my sinuses. I thought it was a great soup, actually, and I wish that it had just some more tortillas in it. I think it didn't have enough for me anyway. And so for that, out of 5, I would give it a 4.5 out of 5. I thought it was a great start to the meal. Then I had the deviled eggs, which had maple sugar glazed bacon. And so what did I think about this? Now, it wasn't the best deviled eggs I've ever had, but how can you go wrong with bacon? The puree itself in the deviled egg was seasoned, and then the bacon just kind of just gave it a little bit even extra bit of flavor. It wasn't too salty. It wasn't, even though it was maple glazed, I didn't taste too much of the sweetness, but I thought it was a good deviled egg. It was good enough for me, and I thought I would give it a 4 out of 5. It could have probably been bumped up a little bit with a little bit of heat. It didn't give me much of heat, maybe a little bit more pepper, not so much like hot in terms of heat. So I would give it a 4 out of 5. My third appetizer was the crab cakes. It's explained as having chilled pimento cream. It did come with a sauce. I thought it was a little bit too wet, if you can understand what I'm saying. I thought the consistency was not what I'm used to when I'm having a crab cake. And the flavors were there, but because of the consistency was a little bit different than I'm used to having when it comes to crab cakes, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5. But because of the flavors, that's the reason why I gave it 3.5 out of 5 instead of having it lower. But something about that consistency, it broke apart really easily. And so 3.5 out of 5. Next is the entree. There's so much to choose from for the entree, and I decided to go with the pork spare ribs. Now it comes with coleslaw, it comes with mac and cheese, pickles, and also barbecue bacon baked beans and jalapeno cheese cornbread. And so I started with the sides first. I ate some of the ribs and then I ate the cornbread. So let's start off with the baked beans. So it says that it is supposed to be barbecue bacon baked beans. It was more savory than sweet. I didn't taste any sweetness at all in it. Sometimes I like beans to have a little bit of sweetness in it, and it was more savory. It was okay. It was just all right for savory beans. I just wish it had a little bit more sweetness, or if it's going to be savory, then maybe a little bit of heat as well in it. Then there were the pickles. The pickles were just pickles to me. It was nothing special. It just felt like it was just maybe out of a jar and they just put it in the container in front of me. Then you had the coleslaw, the same thing. The coleslaw, I like a sweet coleslaw. I don't like, it didn't really have much flavor to it. Then the macaroni and cheese. I am a macaroni and cheese connoisseur. I love macaroni and cheese. And it was just okay. If you just wanted macaroni and cheese, you had it. But then when it came to the ribs, the ribs were so good. It was so good. They have a sweet and tangy sauce. It was with that sauce, especially, they gave me 3 ribs. It wasn't too fatty. It was flavorful even before putting on the sauce. And so that kind of made up for how the sides were. And then after having the ribs, I finally tried some of the cornbread. And I was surprised at the cornbread being so good. The fact, though, that it said it's jalapeno cheese cornbread, I didn't get any heat from it. I didn't get any heat from it being jalapeno cheese cornbread, but the cornbread was delicious. You know, I always like to eat food as is, except for ribs. I love me some barbecue sauce on the ribs. So I only would have gotten maybe a little bit of butter on the cornbread to kind of just take it over the top. And so for the meal in general, because I could have just had the ribs and the cornbread, I could have had more pieces of cornbread. I would have probably just, the beans was okay. Because I like beans, but all the other sides was just, just really was all right. It was, it's edible. I'm not saying it's not edible, but I felt like it could have just been better based upon what I've had in the past, especially for a barbecue restaurant. And so because the ribs were so good and because the cornbread was so good, because I would eat the beans, everything else was just, just okay. I would have to give it a 4 out of 5. Those ribs and the cornbread was so good to me. They were delicious. I would have had, as I said, more cornbread. If I could go back and say, just give me cornbread, don't give me any sides, give me more cornbread and the ribs as is, and maybe just the beans, I'd be fine with that. The other 3 items, the macaroni and cheese, the coleslaw, and the pickles, it didn't do much for me at all. So last thing I had was the dessert, and I decided to go with the bread pudding bourbon caramel sauce. And so it was filled with that sauce. It was not too sweet. It was almost too soft. Like sometimes I like bread puddings. I've had bread puddings and it has a little give to it. It's not soft all the way. But I thought the flavors were there. And because the flavors were there, but I'm still looking at consistency in terms of texture. And so I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, but the flavors definitely were there. I don't think it was too sweet. The only thing, I probably could have had a side of ice cream along with it. So I think that would have really taken it over the top in terms of being a great dessert as well. But I like the meal in general. There's some things I would tweak going back and so I would recommend you going there, trying it for yourself. The appetizers I said were good. In terms of the size for the meal, that's where they need to kind of edit, or you can decide what you want or what you do not want. And then also they have several desserts to choose from. This was the dessert, the bread pudding, that I decided on. Thank you so much for watching. Can you do me a favor? Can you like, comment, subscribe? Click on the notification bell to be informed of future posts. It will greatly help my channel. And for those returning subscribers, thank you so much for supporting the way that you do. And until next time, happy travels.